Um, the Senate sucks. I'm just going to come out and say it. They suck. This is not hard. 80% of the American people want the Save America Act to pass. Not 80% of Republicans, 80% of the American people. And the only organization that refused to act is the United States Senate. Everybody else is saying, this is common sense. We should do common sense things. Let's make sure only Americans are voting in our elections. Makes sense, right? Let's protect the franchise of the American people. Let's make sure that people who are sent to Washington are being voted on by Americans. Who the American people choose is up to them, but we have a responsibility to secure that franchise and to secure that process for the American people. And what is happening in the U.S. Senate is laziness, and quite frankly, it's disgusting. What? The Senate Democrats don't want to have voter ID in America. Why? Because they want to maintain their power. Senate Republicans don't want to do the right thing and actually have a true filibuster on the floor and debate the matter on the floor, because it would take them away from their precious meetings that they have to conduct. I'm sorry. They have a responsibility to open up the Senate floor and debate this issue in front of the American people. I agree with Chairman Harris 1,000%. I want to hear what Chuck Schumer has to say on the floor in full debate about why he opposes this measure. I want to hear what Elizabeth Warren has to say about why she would oppose this measure. I want her to tell the people of Massachusetts why she believes that the people of Massachusetts should not have to show a photo ID in order to vote in a federal election in the United States of America. Just the other day, President Obama opened up his presidential library in Chicago. You needed an ID to attend the event. So if you're going to show up for President Obama's library, you got to present a voter ID, a photo ID to gain access to that event. But to vote in our elections, you don't have to do that? That makes no sense. It's crazy and it's stupid. And so the United States Senate has a responsibility to open up that floor, use Senate procedure, actually have a debate. You have a filibustering debate. If Bernie Sanders wants to hold the floor of the U.S. Senate for 6 months, let him. Go ahead. Swap out the Depends. Get some body armor. Somebody slip you some whatever you need. Keep it going. Because it demonstrates the stupidity of your argument. And that is what the American people want to see. I, for one, want to see what their argument is. But we're not getting that because, and to be blunt, because we have Republican senators who still believe that the U.S. Senate is operating in 1990 America. That is ridiculous. The Democrats are true radicals. They don't want to negotiate. They don't want to debate. They want to obstruct. They want to obstruct common sense.
I know that the Democrats are going to cheat, and no one's really addressing the problem that I spent my time in prison as retribution for, and that was exposing the election machines that allow the votes to be flipped.
On the Fringe with Dan RadioStyle. Hope everybody out there's having themselves a great day. Cheating is what's happening. Cheating is what they're going to do. And of course, as I put in the thumbnail, Trump is declared or has declared war against communists. We'll get to that very shortly. Now, it's not groundbreaking. Again, thumbnails are tricky because it's always the day's news and got to choose something that's fun to talk about. Lindell TV put this out. I feel like I mentioned it the other day, but Dominion Voting drops lawsuit against Mike Lindell. The company formerly known as Dominion Voting Systems, now operating as Liberty Vote, has agreed to dismiss its $1.3 billion defamation lawsuit against Mike Lindell and MyPillow with prejudice, meaning the case cannot be refiled. But that's not the only bombshell. Released alongside this news, the Election Crime Bureau has unveiled what it calls a historic evidence dossier on the 2020 election. 800 plus pages, 824 findings, 2,517 citations. 5 years of compiled research, court records, sworn testimony, government documents, and technical forensics. The report titled The 2020 Election, An Attack Upon U.S. Critical Infrastructure. Details 10, alleged attackers vectoring. Details 10, alleged, what the fuck is that? Details 10, what is that? Alleged attack vectors involving voting systems. election records, certification processes, information control, foreign interference, and more. People have been told for years there's no evidence. This report does not ask you to trust us. It asks you to read the evidence, check the citations, and decide for yourself. At Real Mike Lindell says, anyone that ever says there's no evidence, this is like a library. It has a historical library with 100% evidence that backs each thing up. So they've got that going on. So definitely worth checking or considering that more information's coming out. The truth is coming out. The proof of the election fraud is coming out. And then also we have the lady that was literally arrested and convicted in California of going down to the homeless people and Sin City. I think I don't know, whatever it is. They're going down to the homeless people. I'm forgetting the name of the area. But going down and getting votes, paying people $2, $3, $4, $5 per signature, essentially. It's just a mess. A mess. Senator Rand Paul, biggest threat to validity of elections is when you don't vote in person. He's actually a huge sponsor of the Save America Act, which is cool. One of the good things he's doing. But yeah, it says it's really easy. If you have 500 people come into your voting location and somehow you end up with 1,000 ballots and you're like, there's no way there was 1,000 people here. Well, you know something's wrong. You don't have that luxury with mail-in ballots. So that's a good point he's making. Louisiana, they're trying to set up for California-style mail-in ballot fraud. They've already started changing the laws in the background quietly since 2023. Secretary of State Nancy Landry, once she took office, she has been systematically dismantling the mail-in ballot safeguards and has been quietly codifying into law and making it easier to steal. So this is what's happening in Louisiana. You guys need to fight for your state. New York Education Commissioner orders new school board elections after investigation finds clerk ripped up ballots to rig the race. Huh. You mean someone just tore up ballots? Weird. And it was actually enough to actually cause somebody to win that probably wouldn't have won? Weird. No evidence, huh? Interesting. Here is a powerful speech that Kennedy made in regards to communism, and this is kind of where Trump starts this little war, I guess. Again, some are saying this is because of Mom Donnie. I think it's because that communist push is happening really hard right now. Mom Donnie maybe represents that. Again, they keep making a big deal about the fact that he got 3 people in, which is crazy. It's certainly New York becoming more communist, unquestionably. But they got rid of Dan Goldman. That's awesome. I mean, again, we're swapping out a totally communist person. I get that. That's not good per se. But Dan wasn't good for sure either. So I don't know. It's like... pick your poison, is Beelzebub or Lucifer. You know, I don't know which one is worse, if there is, right? They both seem pretty bad. So this attack against communism is really what's happening right now, and being attacked by communism because it's infiltrated our government, our country, and was even happening back during Kennedy's times. Obviously, we had during the 50s, they had the big push calling everybody, pinkos, right? Commie pinkos. And they were running around trying to find people, and just a whole slew of stuff happening with the FBI and everything, trying to bust commies back in the day. Again, kind of weird. Just our history in general is strange all the way across the board. But here's Kennedy talking about it, and obviously we know he paid a huge price for the war he began. Trump is finishing that war.
Communism is so often described as an ideology or a belief that exists somewhere other than in the United States. Let me ask you, sir, just how serious a threat to our national security are these communist subversive activities in the United States today?
Well, I think they're serious. I think it's a matter that we should continue to give great care and attention to. We should support the laws which the United States has passed in order to protect us from those who would destroy us from within. We should sustain the Department of Justice in its efforts and the FBI, and we should be continually alert. I think if the United States is maintaining a strong society here in the United States, I think that we can meet any internal threat. The major threat is external and will continue.
For we are opposed around the world by a monolithic and ruthless conspiracy that relies primarily on covert means for expanding its sphere of influence, on infiltration instead of invasion, on subversion instead of elections, on intimidation instead of free choice, on guerrillas by night instead of armies by day. It is a system which has conscripted vast human and material resources into the building of a tightly knit, highly efficient machine that combines military, diplomatic, intelligence, economic, scientific, and political operations. Its preparations are concealed, not published. Its mistakes are buried, not headlined. Its dissenters are silenced, not praised. No expenditure is questioned, no rumor is printed, no secret is revealed. It conducts the Cold War, in short, with a wartime discipline no democracy would ever hope or wish to match. Nevertheless, every democracy recognizes the necessary restraints of national security. And the question remains whether those restraints need to be more strictly observed if we are to oppose this kind of attack as well as outright invasion.
Obviously, the invasion part has fully happened, right? Instituted heavily by Barack Obama at the start, even though he actually was kicking a lot of people out of the country. Not nearly as many as Trump, as some are trying to say. Tom Homan got a little bitchy about that. I don't know if I have that quote today. I've got a couple things from him. But we are definitely fighting this communistic movement, and it's bad, right? So Donald Trump, truth this: the communists are finally making their move. I've been waiting and preparing for this for a long time. It's easy to be a communist. All you have to do is say, I'll give you everything, but that means you're taking it away from others that have earned it. Over thousands of years, that ideology has not worked once. The game is on. Enjoy watching President Donald J. Trump. Now, it could very well be because of Mamdani. I'm not going to say it's not. I think it's actually the bigger picture. I think it's larger than Mamdani. I think New Yorkers, I don't think actually voted Mamdani in. I don't think that was legitimate. So again, a lot of people are like, they got what they voted for. No, I don't think they did. I don't actually think we're voting communists in. I really don't. One, we're letting people that shouldn't vote. So that's where maybe a bunch of his legitimate votes came from, even though they're illegitimate. Well, it's a local election. They allow that in New York, so whatever. A bunch of their illegitimate votes. But on top of that, I don't think they're pulling these numbers off. I don't think that's true at all, for that matter. So communist New York City Mayor Zohran Mamdani thinks he can stop President Trump's deportation power. He vows to shield illegal aliens, Haitians, and Syrians after the SCOTUS ruled that Trump could end the TPS protection for those groups of people. Mamdani says, we saw today the Supreme Court make a decision that is putting so many people's lives in jeopardy. I just came back from reality with 1199, where I stood alongside a number of Haitian New Yorkers who are concerned about what this means for their status in our city. Frankly, the city, the one that we love, is one that has been built by so many from so many different parts of the world. That includes our Haitian brothers and sisters and our Syrian brothers and sisters. We stand here ready to be of solidarity with those who are concerned by today's decision. Beyond just a language of solidarity, we need action of solidarity. What that means when it comes to our city is this. If you're worried about what this means for your status, if you're worried about what this means for your family, I would encourage you to call our Mayor's Office of Immigrant Affairs hotline. You can do so at the phone number he gives. Many of you know this is a city of 8.5 million people. More than 3 million of us were born elsewhere. I'm one of them. We're a city that's proud of our immigrant heritage, obviously not proud of our American heritage. And when we think about especially what Haitian New Yorkers have had to deal with, not just for weeks or months or years, but frankly for decades, we have seen a cruelty that has become normalized. To have a people who frankly taught the world about freedom have their own freedom put in jeopardy by the actions of the Supreme Court and a federal administration is not only cruel, it's something that we will never accept. So we stand here as New Yorkers proud of standing in solidarity and proud to do everything that we can to keep our people in their homes and keep people together. Now, what they're claiming in this article, and I don't know if it's totally true because obviously his statements don't necessarily suggest that, But Mom Donnie, the self-described communist and Democrat socialist mayor who has repeatedly called for abolishing ICE and turn New York into an even deeper sanctuary city, responded with pure resistance. So they're saying, is going to try to protect these people. He vowed solidarity with illegal aliens facing deportation and directed them to a city hotline for help staying in the country illegally. If this part here, because that's not quite what he said, but if this part's actually technically happening, that's illegal. It's illegal. Period. You're breaking federal law as a mayor. That would be very illegal. So this, again, I think is partially some of what Trump is fighting. New York City enacts rent freeze on 1 million stabilized units after Mom Donnie is accused of stacking the board. Absolute farce. So yeah, he's got the board completely stacked. Another election that they've stolen. They are hijacking New York City. It is happening in real time. It is happening extraordinarily quickly. This is not natural. This is not normal. And this is not okay. But it's happening. It's what they're attempting to do in LA, but it does look like we might be, because of Spencer Pratt, we actually might have a chance of expanding and exposing it. So, yeah, they've now frozen leases for people that are 1 to 2 year leases. They can't raise those leases. Certainly not a place that you're going to see any more people buying properties that are for rental, right? Nobody's going to invest in New York City. Nobody is going to invest in New York City. The people that are there are there. The people that are stuck there are stuck there. Nobody is going there to make a life for themselves. Nobody. In fact, probably nobody coming to California to make a life for themselves either. Those of us that are, I don't want to say stuck here, but those of us that are here fighting. Maybe there's some people staying and fighting for New York. I don't know. You don't see enough of them talking. Everyone there is just hate Trump, hate Trump, hate Trump, which is also strange. Again, these aren't even real protests or paid people. So all of this stuff is crap. Now, again, what's funny? We've got Schumer, who's Jewish, and he's hated. He's never going to survive another election, period. He's done. Hakeem Jeffries is also screwed. He's probably not going to survive this. Everybody's calling for him to step down as leader. They don't want him as leader anymore. Well, minority leader. Crowd actually started booing at him when he showed up at this Claire Valdez thing. That she was one of the people that, I don't know if she's the one that took Goldman's spot or if she was one of the 3 people that Mom Donnie got in. So we got a watchdog that's asking the IRS to probe tax-exempt status of the NGO tied to China-linked donor. Center to Advance Security in America, CASA, they filed this complaint Tuesday morning with the IRS seeking an investigation into People's Forum, Inc. It's a New York-based non-governmental organization linked to social megadonor Neville Roy Singham. We've heard his name a bunch. CASA's complaint alleges that People's Forum routinely organizes and funds protests that engage in illegal activity. We'll see where that gets things. There's no need to dig too much further into that story. Also, House Republicans should unify and stop voting down rules. This is Trump posting this, and I think he's directly speaking to Luna. So again, Luna, Bober, Marjorie Trader Brown, I think Chip Roy has fallen into this category. There's a number of these guys in the Freedom Caucus, not all of them, because there's some good people in the Freedom Caucus. Jim Jordan's in there. I think Comey's in there. There's a number of good people in the Freedom Caucus, so I don't think the Freedom Caucus is the problem. I think we've got a bunch of people that are very entitled and think they have more power than they do, and really, rather than working with the administration, are trying to force behavior. Forcing behavior is exactly what the communists do, by the way. So I don't care if you've got an R next to your name. I don't care if you're conservative, but if you're trying to force behavior, you're, in my opinion, not all that different. And this is people just trying to get their way. And again, we got to work together. There's definitely places where we're going to have to push, and the opposition's going to try and scream, and we're going to have to basically just say, sorry, go pound sand. I mean, there's way more of us that want this than the few of you that don't. But we do need to hear them. Maybe not listen, but hear, yes. We'll find out. I wanted to point this out. First off, we are going to do a TWC commercial, the wellness company. I wanted to talk about the tick stuff specifically. which is majorly happening right now. And the medical emergency kit's a big one for that. I just wanted to share really quick. I've been telling you guys, I've been doing the 3D stuff, right? 3D printing. And I've been learning the Autodesk Fusion application, which is like SolidWorks. Never taken an engineering class in my life. Never, ever taken SolidWorks. Didn't know anything about the program at all other than what it basically does. Now, I've used a lot of 2D software, so I felt like it had to be kind of similar. Needless to say, my very first project was a table. I did this all on my own. I've learned this on my own with YouTube videos and crap. Here's my first project, a table. It's actually my remote table. I put it on a table. It's a table on a table, and I put my remote controls on it. Dan, you could just get one remote control. I know I could, but I don't want to. Where's the fun in that? So that's my first project. Second project, and it's really why I got a 3D printer and why I'm trying to learn this software. This is my logo. I've managed to make it 3D. All that is an extrusion. What I'm wanting to work on next, and I'm going to, is rounding this. I had a guy that really knows this software, and he paid him a little money, and he's made something, but it's not quite what I want. And I was hoping he's fixing it, and he said he would have it done last weekend, and he hasn't. So I've started learning myself. So catching up on the learning curve. That said, it's kind of cool stuff. Printed this in a few colors too, but this one came out the best. That's kind of neat, huh? There you go. Anyways. All right, all that said, twc.health/OTF, twc.health/OTF, the medical emergency kit. This thing has doxycycline. That's actually the thing you want if you get bit by a tick, literally. If you get bit by a tick, if you're one of these people that's a little concerned about the tick-borne stuff, any of them, the alpha-gal, the other one that, what's the Lyme disease, right? These are all tick-borne diseases. You get bit by a tick, you get that little red ring, right? Start taking doxycycline. This is what McCullough did with his wife. The second he noticed, oh no, she's got a bite, he immediately treated it, and she did not have any problems with that, with Lyme disease. So very, very good stuff. Keep that in mind, right? This is the medical emergency kit. This is definitely one you want to have. It's also got a bunch of other antibiotics. It's an incredible kit. All sorts of good stuff. Ivermectin, amoxicillin, azithromycin, doxycycline, fluconazole, plus a whole lot of other good stuff in there, right? Incredible products. Some of the other good stuff, too. I love the Contagion kit. It's more the antiviral. It's just a good one. It's got ivermectin. It's got hydroxychloroquine. It's also got the generic Tamiflu. It's got the azithromycin as well. It's got a nebulizer in there with 5 vials of basically anti-asthma medication. So if you ever can't breathe and so heavily constricted, you can that'll save your life. So that is the Contagion kit. That is another kit that is incredible. They've also got the ivermectin mebendazole. That's the parasite cleanse. There's also a lot of talk about how this affects cancer, interestingly. So twc.health/OTF, twc.health/OTF. Supplement lines too. You want to check out the Ultimate Spike Detox. If you rolled up your sleeve or if you live with someone who did, this thing specifically looks for the cleavage site. It attaches to it and literally pulls it out of your body. So they've got that going on. What's Pure Relief? I think this is, I've seen someone, is this sleeping? Is this sleep stuff? Oh, it's inflammatory relief. Oh, okay. Without the stomach irritation of NSAIDs. Any of you guys taking non-inflammatory stuff, or anti-inflammatory, I guess I would say? Targets multiple pathways for more complete relief from discomfort, helps relax muscles, calm nerves, and restores comfort. So they've got just so many incredible products. Again, you can see a doctor. You can talk to a doctor. They also have a membership that saves you a bunch of money and I think gives you free shipping as well. It's way worth the little bit of money you pay. If you're going to be doing anything month after month with them, definitely get that membership. It's worth it. It's going to save you the money. You'll probably actually get your money back on the very first thing you buy, even if it's just like supplements. Again, they've got all sorts of cool prescriptions. They've got stuff by goal, which might help you find some things, right? Parasite cleanse, spike detox, weight management, cleanse and detox, immune allergy, bone and joint, brain and mood. They've got stuff for everything. Incredible products, incredible quality, and incredibly easy to do. It's fantastic. Go to twc.health/OTF, twc.health/OTF. That big coupon savings. Okay, this Venezuela earthquake, we got supposedly over 50,000 people missing. So the expectation is the death numbers are totally going to rise. I think right now they're still under 1,000, like 500 and like under 600 even for that matter, I think as of this morning. but 50,000 plus people missing. So deaths are going to be extreme. Trump has and is sending people there, ramps up emergency response. So he's sending in the best and the greatest. He's also sending in 2 warships. We are going to be there with all sorts of stuff to help. I assume some of that, too, is to make sure that any sort of crazy looting or if any crime tries to take advantage of this situation, which some of me wonders if this was intentionally caused, though I still do believe it was caused by the sun. But if it was, the only reason I can really come up with why they would do this would be to try to take back control of Venezuela. But I don't think we'd let them, and I think our presence there is too involved to let them. So I think the sun caused the earthquakes. We had that coronal hole. It passed exactly where the earthquakes were. And it was a big one. And right when that stream was hitting us was when we were seeing the earthquakes. And that just unfortunately coincides. So there's a lot of people that don't want to believe that. First off, don't believe that the sun's actually a round ball that we rotate around. So that's tricky too. Whatever. Donald Trump truthed this out in regards to Iran. They shot a couple drone boats, I guess, or drones. I don't know. They shot the boats, I think. And they shot one ship, damaged it a little, but it still managed to get the hell out of Dodge. Trump's basically saying, look, this isn't cool. You shot 4 of these things. One of the drones solidly hit the upper deck of a large and very expensive cargo ship. I guess these are flying drones. Damage was done, but the ship was able to proceed on its way. We knocked down 3 other drones. Obviously, this is a foolish violation of our ceasefire agreements. And unlike Israel, we don't go and just bomb the shit out of them. Now, we might have been trying to find where these things were launched, and maybe we did something and hit that spot and just didn't make any noise about it and said, all right, go ahead and say you're pissed off at us for it. Whatever. You launched drones from this facility. We smoked it, right? So there's some of that. Got a little bit more news that we're going to share with Iran coming up. Nothing major. I mean, they're still trying to make deals and figure stuff out, but for the most part, that's it right now. Just a super touching story. And it actually made me tear up when I watched it earlier. And I was like, you know what, Dan, you don't put enough of this stuff in your shows anymore. And so I feel like we got to mix things up a little bit. And this is a beautiful story, and I think you will agree. Check it out.
Let's go surprise my dad with a Father's Day gift. Dad.
What's up?
Close your eyes. Close your eyes.
What are you doing with the phone?
I have a gift for you for Father's Day. Okay, I'll tell you when to open your eyes, okay? Right.
No way. No freaking way. Oh my god, I've been wanting one of these. Is this the real one?
Yeah.
Where did you get $100, bro?
Oh, for my alliance, I saved this since last year. Because I know you're the best dad, so. Do you like your gift?
You've had some. I'm happy. But I wasn't expecting that.
It's alright, you bought me gifts before. It's my time to repay you.
Come on. I love it.
Love you.
Thank you. I know you're more than enough, right?
Thank you.
Are you recording?
Yeah.
Oh.
It's just a beautiful story. And like any good father, he got his son a prostitute. So, yeah, it made sense. I'm kidding. Of course he didn't. Come on. Have a sense of humor, people. Or try to. Or maybe I'll try to work on having jokes that are actually funny. I'll try that too. Maybe. I'll meet you in the middle on that one. More than 500,000 federal workers, retirees are delinquent, paying Uncle Sam taxes. Isn't that funny? 571,000 federal employees and retirees have failed to pay their share of income tax, depriving the U.S. Treasury of more than $6.3 billion in revenue. Isn't that interesting? The people whose jobs are paid by tax revenue don't want to pay tax revenue. That's weird. If we all felt that way, you'd not get paid. California legislature passes an $11.25 billion housing bond. Now, here's I told you guys exactly. If the bond sounds like it's a good thing, it's definitely not. I said no matter what, even if it sounds like a good thing, vote no. Here is exactly that. Exactly that. And I'll bet you money half of you out there would vote yes on this. Why? Because it either says for the kids or it says for the veterans, in this case, the veterans. This is a housing bond bill. The Assembly and Senate passed the bond that's designed to help veterans keep a roof over their heads and keep housing affordable for everyone. This is bullshit. I know it's a great idea. I'd love to see veterans have houses. Yes, there's probably better ways we can do this. A bond is not it. The bond money will go to an NGO and a bunch of lawyers, and then a teeny tiny bit will actually end up in veterans' hands. We'll end up in extensive debt, $11.25 billion plus interest. And if we're lucky, $500 million will actually go and help veterans. I am voting no on this. But Dan, do you hate the veterans? No, I love the veterans. I'd rather donate to some other way, or I'd find a veteran that's needing help and donate directly to them, than a bond measure that I know is going to be stolen. So I'm voting no on the bond measure that's going to help veterans. And I'm voting no on a bond member that's going to help children. And I'm going to vote no on a bond measure that's going to clean our water. I'm voting no on all that shit because it's a lie. It's a waste. And they're putting veterans on it so people will vote yes, which is still strange because they steal the votes anyways. Why don't you guys just steal the veterans votes? It's too hard because you have to have ballots that are like oddly perfectly filled out for all the stuff that nobody wants. It's weirdly like with thousands and millions of ballots that just push all the crap we don't want. Keep it in mind, guys. It's coming. Here's Tom Homan. I got a couple things of him back to back. Pretty good stuff, but yeah, he's well pissed in general. I like Tom Homan. He's got a couple good things to say. Check it out.
I've been around a long time. I started in 1984. I've worked for 6 presidents. I've worked for 10 administrations. No one's done it better than President Trump. He's kept all his promises. And that's why I always say, President Trump is the greatest president in my lifetime. The data proves it. I'm a border guy. I'm a national security guy. No one has done it better. Look at the data. That's what makes him a great president. Promises made, promises kept, and we're not done yet.
Frickin' A. Frickin' A. And I think I got one more here of Homan, and this is pretty sweet, too. Check this. Oh, whoops. That's not what I wanted. Dadgummit. What did I do? Uh-oh. Oh, I just closed it, didn't I? Let's see if we can pull that back up. Wait. Oh. There we go. Yeah, let's see if I can find my place. I'm so sorry, guys. That was, I hit the wrong button. Somehow managed to close it. That was pretty sweet. Where's Tom? You over here? There you are. Cool. I think this is, yes. Whew. All right. Hurts, but we made it.
I know what these people deal with. I know the death threats are up 8,000%. I know that personally. That's why I'm surrounded by security detail. I got 24/7. I can't even go to the grocery store without security detail. But to the haters and cartel members who threaten me, come get some, because I'm tired of you.
You want a piece of me? Huh? What am I here to entertain you? Anyway. DHS marks arrests of over 10,000 gang members since Trump returned to office. 10,000 gang members. These are the worst of the worst. These are the people that Trump has taken off the street. Well, Homan as well. Illegal alien gets 8 years in prison for an $89 million payroll scheme employing illegal aliens construction workers. $89 million. One person. One person. And we keep hearing of these individuals with many, many millions of dollars of fraud. There is way over $1 trillion in fraud happening in this country. Way over. Like they say, we'd balance the budget if we could get rid of it all. Which one's this? This is, Stephen Miller's pretty good. Talking about birthright citizenship and the nonsense of all that. Of course, everyone's really wondering what's the Supreme Court going to do. And I'm prepared for the worst on this one. I'm expecting that they're going to allow birthright citizenship, and then I think that we'll probably just never allow anyone that's pregnant to come into this country. And if you stay past your visa, they're probably going to show up at your doorstep. So things might get worse if they allow birthright citizenship. we'll see what they choose. But anyway, Stephen Miller had some great comments. Check it out.
What is your sense of where the court will go on birthright citizenship?
Well, look, I don't know where they're going to go. I'm not going to forecast it. Here's what I can say. Anybody who has read even 30 seconds of American history understands the Reconstruction Amendments after the Civil War were to ensure that the children of slaves would be franchised in the United States. The author of the 14th Amendment was clear in saying it did not apply to aliens. There should be a 9-0 ruling in a functioning democracy. The idea that you can have a country where you just set foot on U.S. soil and any child you have gets to be an American citizen and vote in our elections, collect our welfare, sit in our juries, sit in judgment of our fellow men and women is such an outrage to the idea of having a country. It defies description. I don't know what they're going to do, but here's what I can say. If this country doesn't, one way or another, end birthright citizenship, this country doesn't have a future. Citizenship has to be sacred and precious. And as we stand here on the 250th anniversary of America's founding, the idea that we wouldn't have in this country respect and sanctity for citizenship, for the voting franchise, is such an insult to generations of Americans who spilled their blood for our freedom in battlefields here and all across the earth, Will.
Yeah, it's messed up. I mean, unquestionably, what's happening. And again, they keep going, well, this nation was built upon immigrants. Yes, legal immigrants. They checked into the port of entry. They tried to become citizens and eventually became citizens. They worked their ass off and were part of building this country. Yes, not a bunch of illegal people. No. With the exceptions of farm work, that's pretty much the only thing that we used to have, like seasonal workers that would come in from other countries and then go back home. And that's what it was like during the 80s and 90s of me growing up, at least in this area. We had strawberry fields, we had cabbage. I mean, when I first moved here, well, before I first moved, they had orange groves. I don't think anyone picked those. We just get in orange fights all the time. But here, where I lived, before they actually built most of Irvine, there was strawberry fields and stuff. I mean, there was freaking all sorts of crops. Strawberry fields, like I said, cabbage. They grew some other weird thing at some point. And they'd bring help in to pick. But most of it was done with tractors. Like, they didn't, I think planting, they covered the seeds area with plastic. I mean, it took some time, but then, again, they were done. Nothing else needed to happen. So, yes, our nation's been built with people that came from other locations that wanted to become Americans. Not criminals sneaking into our country, not criminals taking advantage of our country, and not criminals who come here and then immediately need social services while they're here. You can't become a legal immigrant without a sponsor. The sponsor assumes responsibility if you can't afford stuff. There's no sucking off the teat of society as an immigrant the proper way. That's not what's happening when all of these people keep, hey, we're built on immigrant. Fuck off, please. That's not even what's happening. Chicago teachers are seeking billions of dollars in special sessions. They're claiming this is what they're owed. This entitlement thing's very interesting. And no offense, I know there's some teachers out in my audience, but man, your teachers' unions are horrible. Horrible. And I would be surprised if there's teachers in here, you guys obviously don't open up what you feel in front of your other fellow teachers because they'll probably kill you. Fucking some of the teachers are just insane. And obviously this is how they're pushing a lot of the communism. So Chicago's teachers unions are demanding essentially another $1 billion in raises for their teachers who, since teaching in Chicago, the numbers have continued to drop as far as literacy, as far as math sufficiency, continue to drop. They've even lowered the standards, and the number's still going down. Chicago's teachers are possibly some of the worst in the nation, yet they're demanding more money. How about you do your job properly? How about maybe we have some sort of thing where if enough of your students pass, maybe you get a bonus. I'd be up for that. But this idea that you just get more no matter what, and kids can continue to fail, and you can make them as many. I mean, maybe they get money for how many they turn transgender. I don't know. Who knows? This was interesting. So the information about this teacher who's literally grooming students. Well, somebody reached out to the actual middle school. Who's this principal? The principal of this school. And talked to her literally the day after this information dropped. And she's like, well, I just found out about it. So it sounds like they're trying to do the right thing. Anyway, here's the conversation.
Do you know who James O'Keefe is?
I do.
Okay, because I just saw a video yesterday.
I'm aware of that.
Yeah.
That is an active investigation.
Yeah. And so what are y'all doing about that? Is he fired?
I can't tell you that either. I mean,
Why
it's
not?
just like, it's just, I can't. That's
Why
not.
do you have this? Do you not do background checks on these people?
We do.
This is a pedophile.
Extensive
He's a
background
groomer.
checks. Yeah, we do extensive They have to be fingerprinted. They do an FBI fingerprint on every single employee, teachers, support staff.
So he's just a groomer. He hadn't been caught. Well, he's caught now.
I'm well aware. Yeah, it's a massive investigation. Yeah.
I want something done because this is not stopping with just me.
I can't even tell you. If
He was here on the last day of school.
Are you talking about the teacher in the video?
Yeah.
The video just came out yesterday. I was not aware of any of that until yesterday.
What kind of school are you running here? I don't understand. And then after I saw this James O'Keefe thing, I was like, oh my God. What do you think about this? I mean, just your personal opinion.
I'm as I investigate, I will do everything I have to do that is proper procedure and policy.
I can guarantee you this, and you won't hear from me again. I will dig into this, and every single solitary thing that I have, including the recording that we're making right now and have been, is going straight to James O'Keefe. All of it. All of it.
So you don't have permission to record me? You don't? So
I don't care. And I have nothing against gay people whatsoever. Nothing. When we start shoving it down the parents' throats, that's when we're tired of it. We're sick of it. We are so sick of it. I am so fed up with this school. But hopefully now with James O'Keefe behind it, something will be done.
Yeah, I mean, she's like, I'm going to give it to James. What's James going to do other than promote it? I mean, that's cool. He did. Good job. We're talking about it. And again, the dude probably hadn't been convicted of any pedophilia, so how would they know? I mean, they did investigations. I don't know if they go and search their computers and stuff. That'd be interesting. That would be very invasive, but you are dealing with children, so who knows? Like, I would not like that if the government was like, yeah, we're going to search all your computers at your house. First off, if I was trying to get a government job, like a security clearance type job, first thing I would say is, well, you've probably already done it. And they'd be like, yeah, we have. I'm like, all right, so, okay. Outside of that, agreeing to have somebody look through all my shit, fuck, man. I mean, they're not going to find any crazy pictures, that's for sure. I don't even watch porn or anything like that on these computers. It's not like there's anything there. In fact, that was one of my funniest phishing things that happened. There was a dude, I don't know, email or something, and he's like, you better give me this, that, or the other thing, or I'm going to release the pictures I have of you pleasuring yourself in front of the camera while you're watching porn. I started laughing. I'm like, I definitely don't have a picture of that. I can guarantee that. I started laughing. There was zero concern of that being possible. Please. I got a great imagination. I don't need porn. Thank you very much. Just saying. Michigan lawmakers tours daycare tied to $1.1 million in taxpayer funds with no sign of kids. This just keeps happening everywhere. Guy goes inside. I think he's like you said, policymaker. He's a lawmaker. Yeah, Michigan lawmaker. So this is the type of person you want looking into it. It's another learning center. It's actually spelled correctly this time, at least, not leering. But again, funny misspelling for all that, because they are totally leering, if you will. I think it's spelled differently, but needless to say. Yeah, this was kind of a small one. It's only getting a little over $1 million, but it is Michigan, interestingly. So who knows? Who knows? Yeah, so this lady's explaining how the nano bubbling system works as far as removing the algae. I think it's a good idea. Everyone's talking a lot of crap about it. Poor Trump keeps having to bring it up. which is stupid. But here is the lady explaining it. I actually think it's interesting. Good information on how they're doing this. I don't know. And oddly, ozone's not really reactive to stuff. It's not really stable either, for that matter. O2 is much more stable than O3, which is what ozone is. So typically ozone gets created in a strange environment, and then it breaks apart and it releases the oxygen ion and then falls as O2. So generally when ozone's created, it becomes oxygen, frankly. A lot of times lightning strikes and stuff like that. It's enough energy to actually create it, but it doesn't generally stay that way forever, as she kind of talks about a little bit too.
Jordan Conradson with the Gateway Pundit. I'm here at the Reflecting Pool at the Lincoln Memorial, here with Aaron Kramer from Greenwater.
Yep.
Aaron, can you tell us a little bit about what your company's doing here at the Reflecting Pool and how this project's going?
I would love to.
Yeah.
So we came in to remediate the algae, which has been a long time problem. What the technology does is we use an ozone treatment technology. So it takes regular O2, we turn it into O3, it gets pumped into the pool. That ozone, they're in the little nanobubbles that you've probably heard about. Because they're in nanobubbles, those go throughout the whole water column, and as they burst, which is natural, it kills the algae, and then the sediment floats to the bottom. So it leaves behind crystal clear water with only oxygen as the byproduct. So you're actually adding oxygen to the water, which is great. But so that's why you can see the bottom of the pool really well, and what you see on the bottom is the sediment. And so if we were doing this in a river or a lake, it would get reabsorbed into the environment. Here, it can get vacuumed up. But that's what you see happening here today.
Right, I'm seeing it. It's completely clear. I'm not seeing any algae floating around.
Nope.
What has the issue been with algae? Because I'm reading reports. I'm seeing CNN nightly broadcasts where they're talking about, the pool is full of algae. It's disgusting. Trump had failed the job. What's actually going on?
So I think first of all, you need up-to-date pictures. I think anyone who comes to the pool today sees how clear it looks. The most important thing is that the system continues to run. So if it stops, algae will grow back, and then you will just need to continue pumping the ozone-infused water in. So it's really very simple. We are just about done putting up the permanent structure, and the only thing you need to do this, besides the technology, is air. It's that simple.
Yeah. Another thing I'm hearing, something about carbon dioxide or some kind of chemicals being put in the water. Is that true?
You don't need any chemicals in this process. It is the most effective way to do this. It's completely chemical free. And as I mentioned, the only byproduct is oxygen.
And then I saw the other day, of course, like I was saying, places like CNN, TMZ, they're freaking out because a duck was found dead in the pool. Personally, I didn't know that ducks could die in the wild. What happened there? Could that have been caused by you guys?
So I don't know anything about the duck situation. Right. All I can say is our process, by releasing only oxygen, does not create an environment that would hurt wildlife. Most of our work is done in nature. Most of our work is done in rivers and lakes, and it can be done in ponds. So it is meant to be very environmentally sustainable. The company, we've been doing this for 6 or 7 years. It's a really new technology, but it's being used, as I mentioned, in different environments across the country. And to me, what this means for this historic landmark is you're really putting in some very cutting edge environmental technology here. And it's not political, it's just science.
Right.
And thank you for giving me the opportunity to actually talk about it.
Yeah, exactly. Chance to kind of straighten people out and let them know this is not what you're being told. And again, it's just so strange how the lies keep occurring. John Bolton pleads guilty. Faces up to 10 years in prison for mishandling classified national defense secrets. Very curious how long he actually gets in jail. Judge Twang will tell us that eventually, and it's in Maryland, so little faith maybe. We'll see. But Bolton's 77 years old. I doubt they're going to give him 10 years. He better spend some time in prison, though. Some. And then parole for the rest of his life or something. I don't know. But yeah, the dude should never, ever serve anything ever again. And he actually, as an example to others, should, I think, spend some time in prison. ICE pursues, especially with all the bullshit he's done attacking Trump. ICE pursues first-of-a-kind $250,000 fine against attorney filing fraudulent asylum claims. $250,000 against this attorney. This particular attorney has filed 64 fraudulent asylum applications. And there's 32 different cases pending against them. Ouch, is all I'm going to say. And that's good. Hopefully they do go after these people for these malicious filings. Because if you're doing that and you're just clogging up the system, well, that's criminal in its own right. State Attorney General pushes to impeach judge for acquitting woman who drowned a child because she had COVID. This is a strange story. Florida Attorney General James Uthmeyer seeking to impeach Judge Miguel de la O. I've never even heard of the last name. O. De la O? Miguel of the O? Are you, Is that even, I've never, ever seen a last name that's one letter. Ever. Well, except I guess now, but I don't believe it's the last name. I believe there's either A, it couldn't fit on the thing that they're basing it off of, ran out of letters or something. Whatever the case is, this chick, she drowns her 18-month or whatever old, 19, I don't know, young child, drowns her in a bathtub. Husband tries to come in to stop her from drowning their child, and she stabs him and then supposedly injures the 16-year-old daughter who was trying to help. So she kills the 18-month-old or whatever, and pled insanity because of COVID. And the judge let it slide. Okay, yeah, you totally stabbed your husband, almost harmed your 16-year-old, and killed your child. But hey, you were having a tough day. I get that. How is it okay to have? Because can't any of us just have a bad day and then kill somebody? Is that okay? Just be like, I had a bad day. You realize I went to get my parking place and someone took it, all right? And then I walked inside and someone took the last of the stuff I wanted from the vending machine. My favorite coffee creamer was gone. So I fucking stabbed one of my employees in the neck with a pencil. Wanted to go John Wick. But I was crazy at the moment. Is that, Do I dislike people? Yes. More than I should. House Judiciary Committee, Jim Jordan, he's threatening to hold the SPLC's incoming CEO, Ryan Haygood, in attempt for refusing to proceed docs about the SPLC's field sources and its work with the Biden DOJ. These people are going to go to jail. You can only delay so long before they literally can come after you. Billionaire investor Leon Black, one of Epstein's largest known clients, is appearing before the House Oversight Committee today as lawmakers are investigating Epstein's network. This was today. Cool. We'll find out anything. I mean, they're not going to tell us anything. It's probably closed door, I assume. But Black paid Epstein $158 million between 2012 and 2017. Holy crap. Just the amount of money that you paid Epstein. $158 million for 5 years. Like, do the math. Damn. That's just an insane amount of money. What's that, $30 million a year? Damn. Wow, that is a crap ton of money. I'm not going to play this Spencer Pratt thing. It's actually pretty good, but this old. But what's cool is he posted this today. Big update to the fraud we discussed in this video, which, he's talking about all the bullshit they do at the elections. The largest homeless NGO in L.A., Weingart Center, is under federal investigation, and the court just rejected all of Weingart's attempts to dismiss the fraud and waste claims regarding their shady property deal in Cheviot Hills. What happened? Karen Bass and Nithya Raman, a.k.a. Medium Raman, laundered your tax dollars through the Weingart NGO to pay 2 times the cost on homeless housing projects from a scammer middleman. A $16 million flip for a dubious homeless project, all while evicting the senior who lived there, the seniors. Big hat tip to Samantha Nussbaum for doing the legwork on this case and bringing some accountability to the rampant fraud in LA's homeless industrial complex. Are you starting to see how the scam works? And this is why they cheated to keep their Medium Ramen and Karen Bass as the only options, because these two people will continue the charade. They don't want to fix tax dollars. They don't want to fix homelessness. They want to make as much money off it as possible. You see, if people don't like homelessness, they don't like to see it, so they'll pay money to get rid of it. People like veterans, so they'll pay money to help them. People think children are awesome, so they'll pay money to try to keep them safe. People like to drink clean water, so they'll pay money to get clean water. You're getting the point, right? They don't care about you at all. Bond measures, no, all of them. I don't care if it's to... I don't care what it's for. I really don't. To give a piece of gold to every person on this planet. Bond. It's bullshit. And if it would be something like giving everybody a piece of gold, it'd be like when you go to Knott's Berry Farm and you pan for gold and you end up with like 5 flakes in your little thing. And you're like, well, there's actual gold in there, I think. It's a mess. So accountability's coming. Congressman, this is one of the missing guys, by the way. The other missing person, the lady, she finally stepped down, retired, whatever. Tom Keene Jr., though, he's one that everyone's been wondering about. He finally broke his silence. He says he's coming back to Congress, I believe, next week. And he says he'll talk about his health, or, well, sorry, I'm assuming it's health. He'll talk about what's been up then. My guess is it's health. Health-related, maybe his or someone else's. But he's been out for 4 months. That's about how long you would go if you're treating cancer and chemo and radiation and the process that goes into that. So, very strong chance. Of course, prayers to him. Hopefully he stays healthy and safe. Trump wants $88 billion for Iran war, Ebola, and farm support. This is Trump playing the game back at them. I mean, the war they don't want to give him money for, but they have to, kind of. Ebola is stupid. We're not spending any money on that. Are you kidding? I mean, we're going to maybe look into it. We're going to send some people down there and maybe try to help, but the Sir hell aren't going to do what the UN wants us to do, or the WHO, I should say, wants us to do, and fly everybody back into this country. And he also wants to do some farm support, which is awesome. So I don't think this has a chance in hell of passing in Congress. Ebola is about the only thing on there that they might vote for. But they hate Iran war, and they hate giving him money for something they don't agree with. What's funny is they didn't agree with it when he started, and then when he ended it, they didn't agree with that either. So it's crazy. And then farm support, they hate farmers, right? They wanted to sell all of our farms to China. Communists, nice. So an explosion in data centers and memory costs is fueling third inflation wave, as a lot of people are talking about, and likely the case. I mean, certainly Tim Cook is talking about has to raise the price of the iPhone because of the cost increases. Now, they have a profit margin, and they specifically stated that to maintain our profit margin, we must raise the prices. They make a lot of money off each one of these phones. Again, I don't care. I'm not pro Apple. I've said that many times. Again, I'm not trying to be a dick. I just know they're the one company that they're one of the few companies that controls things majorly. So I've just never been a part of that. And again, for all you people that are freaked out about AI, are you wearing any smart devices on your body? If the answer is yes, and you're concerned about AI, you are a hypocrite. Stop wearing your smart device, and then you can cry about AI. Otherwise, you're already on board. This is a big part of what's going on right now. And Apple's going to be... I don't know. I don't know how things are going to play out, because there's been a lot of surprises. But Apple's one of the ones that the expectation... They're going to... At some point, things are going to get very interesting. YouTube is either A, going to start... I say YouTube, Apple, because they're kind of together, in my opinion. Either A, something is going to happen in the near future, probably the election, and YouTube's going to begin censoring all sorts of people that trust them. And it's one of the things I've noticed is my audience still overwhelmingly is not on YouTube. Right? It's the one place I'm seeing the most growth, but that's just because that's the one place that can easily grow. We are seeing a bunch of people that are overwhelmingly using YouTube, and they are not able to talk about a lot of things. They don't want to lose their funding. YouTube pays money, so they don't want to say things that are going to get that in trouble. Some of them go to back channels, some of them don't. Apple does the same thing. They're going to take away apps. They're going to keep you from being able to get access to information. They'll keep things off your phone that some of us can put on our phone. And I don't just mean apps, I mean information. Tim Cook, who told the Wall Street Journal that the jump in costs was unlike anything he'd seen in this area in over 40 years. Biggest price jump in anything I've ever seen. This is because, again, the data centers, which really aren't built yet. And by the way, for all the people that are like, Elon Musk is going to put data centers in space. Okay, do me a favor. I want you to do 2 small little searches. 1, do a search of a data center. Look how big the buildings are. Okay. Now, then I want you to do me a favor and then do a search and say, how much does it cost for SpaceX per pound to put things into space? Okay. And now, for all you that are like, yeah, but no, they're doing it because of cooling, though, Dan. Well, first off, the sun side in space is very hot. Very hot. So you got to shield from the heat there. And then the cold side's cold. It's like the old, what was that McDonald's saying with the hot side hot, the cold side cold? So it's a weird idea to think about putting data centers in space. It's kind of a stupid idea, frankly, as far as I can tell. There's zero benefit to it. Just makes everything extraordinarily more expensive. Oh, so we can cool it. We can do that so many different ways without sending shit to space. That would be significantly less expensive. You can recycle some of the liquids they use. You can filter them, recycle them. Like, that's way cheaper than putting shit in orbit and then maintaining orbit because it doesn't stay in the orbit it's in. And the further out it goes, the more expensive it costs. It's bullshit. Bullshit. There's a bunch of money being taken right now, spent right now, borrowed right now. And I honestly think it's going towards the big picture, which is we're going to see the surprise coming. And I don't know exact time frames. I'm thinking 2030-ish. But again, some people are saying sooner than that. I mean, there's going to be stuff that's going to happen with the election and stuff like that. But I'm talking about like the magnetic field and the sun and possibly visitors. I feel like that's more like 2030-ish or something like that. And that might be when Trump's in charge of the world. Who knows? So many things going on. Finally, gold's coming back up a little bit. That's kind of funny. Is silver still down? We'll see. We'll give it a second to catch up. Again, the markets are what they are. And nothing makes sense anymore, which is what I continue to see being the case. It's kind of funny in that regards. I don't know if it helps to refresh it. Okay, that helps, I guess. Yeah, so silver's up a teeny bit. And that dropped under 60. That's pretty awesome. I'm gonna buy some today. I think I've still got it open. I'm gonna do a refresh on that really quick. I'm not gonna share it per se, but I want to get a few more ounces, like the silver-proof coins. Where's one? Yeah, here it is. American Eagle 2024 1 ounce silver coin. The proof coin. They're $173 each. All right, that's like 3 times the price, spot price. This is, again, something people don't understand. The spot price is not what you buy stuff at, especially proof quality. Proof quality is the best quality out there, so it's extraordinary. It's worth way more in the big picture, too. When you try to sell it, you actually get more money. All that said, we are in a changing time. Inflation is definitely heavily happening. The GPT's sale or IPO, I should say, ChatGPT, they're actually delaying that because of what happened with SpaceX. SpaceX sucked up a bunch of that money, and there's really not a whole lot of extra liquidity that they can try to come after. It's probably why SpaceX did what they did and did it first, because they knew they'd screw everyone else. Good job, Elon. Proud of you. First trillionaire. There you go. That's the thinking that gets you there, I guess. Like for me, I don't know. After I hit $1 billion, probably, I'd be like, I don't know. I feel like I'm rich enough. I don't know. I want to, buy a plane and fly around the world or something fun. I don't know. Something crazy. So it'd be fun. That all said, I want you guys to consider protecting your buying power. We've talked about this numerous times, right? Back in the day, $30, 30 Federal Reserve notes, or would buy you 1 ounce of gold. 1 ounce of gold, 30 Federal Reserve notes in 1915. Both of these would buy you a handmade tailored suit. Today, this will still buy you a handmade tailored suit. This won't. That's buying power. $30 will buy you what? Dinner? Dinner for 2, maybe at a fast food restaurant? Maybe. Share a soda. You know, you get free refills sometimes. Go to drslikesgold.com, drslikesgold.com. You want to get out of their system. They're funding your money and all sorts of crazy stuff, and they don't care about you. You're the last person that's going to get out, and you're the last person that gets in. Go to drslikesgold.com, drslikesgold.com. Get out of their system, tax-free, penalty-free. You move the money sideways. All this 401k and IRA money is pre-tax money. If you touch it in any way, shape, or form, they will tax and penalize you. Not Goldco. This is the government, okay? Whether you do this through Goldco or you do it through like Fidelity or whoever you're with, you will get hosed. It has nothing to do with Goldco when it comes to cashing out this money, okay? Whether you're touching the precious metals or touching the cash, both of those count as payments, and both of those are going to get you raped. It's just how it is. This is only for people that literally can wait at least a year or 2 or 3 or maybe even more. Depends. I think 2 or 3 is going to be plenty because we're going to get a new currency. You can transfer into that, and this will be a great way to have protected your buying power, and you'll see that play out. DRSlikesGold.com, up to 10% free gold or silver they're going to offer you. So if you do $200,000 of your 401k and you move that over, that's 20 grand. In gold or silver, I think you can mix and match, but 20 grand, you get, what do you want? Let's do this. And also, 4 data points, if you have a qualifying offer and you hit the claim offer, a phone number is going to pop up and a countdown timer for 20 minutes. If you're able to make that phone call, ask them about the 5 grams of silver that are free. So Dan said something about 5 grams of silver if I actually called you guys. Find out how that goes, because I think you'll be at least pleasantly rewarded for the efforts of the phone call. That's for sure. DRSlikesGold.com, DRSlikesGold.com. Get out of that system while you can. Make your life better. Save that buying power. Again, while you can. Again, OpenAI is limiting its ChatGPT 5.6 release while the government reviews it. We've realized that they have to review these AI systems. I think stuff keeps ending up in these AI systems that, 1, aren't good in the big picture. 2, we're giving China major stuff right now. And this is a problem. And I don't know how they can limit that. But China is very much taking advantage of our AI work and then stealing it immediately. There's examples of this happening with the Anthropic. China was doing it over a 2-month period of time. There's some 30,000 different calls, and a lot of them were kind of in the more advanced areas that they were testing and learning how it responds, and then back engineering from that. China's very good at stealing technology. They're not very good at creating their own. Donald Trump truth this out regarding Europe. Said numerous European countries have been discussing the imminent implementation of a digital service tax on American companies. Some of these countries are close to actually doing this. Please let this statement serve to represent that any country that imposes such a tax will immediately be met with a 100% tariff on any and all goods sent to the United States of America. This tariff will supersede trade deals made with the country, whether implemented, signed, or not. Additionally, the 100% tariff will be immediately imposed if they proceed. Thank you for your attention to this matter. Putting Europe on order. You're going to try to take a little bit of money from us through the tech companies? Okay. We're going to hammer every fucking thing you sell to us. Everything you sell to us. Let's play. Again, fighting communism. Trump says he's been preparing for this for his whole life. It's not just Mom Donnie. You're not thinking nearly big enough. Europe, communist. They're trying to take from us something that they've done nothing to do. They're just passing rules so they can charge us. Trump's war economy accelerates as Lockheed wins a $35 billion deal to quadruple missile interceptor output. Again, they're preparing for something major. Certainly trying to get stockpiles up, yes, but they're preparing for something major. Or we literally really are in major dire straits when it comes to our weapons. We supposedly supplied Israel with Was 90% of the missiles they used in their Iron Dome during their protection came from us. Not even on top of the $5 billion that we give them. That's on top of that. Hegseth Hale's first test of America's Golden Dome. We talked about this, but still fantastic. They don't really get into any specifics. They don't share anything with us, right? So we're just taking their word on it. Not that I think Hegseth would lie. I don't think they can show it to us because, one, they're probably hard to show. Two, it would definitely give the enemy information that they don't need. And two, how correct or not correct this is just meant to scare the shit out of our enemies. We're like, dude, we got stuff that you guys don't even know about. Israel's starting to do this now, too. They're like, we've got weapons you don't even know about, right? So don't worry about nukes. That's the least of your problems. That's basically what Israel is saying. We'll see if that's truly true as well. Hey, failing Starmer on his way out the door. Well, he's giving a parting gift to Britain. 6,000 rapists and killers are going to be released early from prison, because it's overcrowded with killers, because they have a lot of killers that they don't seem to want to deal with. So they're going to put them back out on the street, because, killers don't kill again, over and over and over and over and over and over. Qatar and the U.S., they're warning EU of a gas crunch. They have this weird methane regulation that the EU is basically putting in place. They want to know while the methane leaks along the entire track of methane from the moment it's mined to the moment it's refined to the point where it's sent to some other location to where they, then it's on them, I guess, at that point. And Qatar and the United States are both saying that's extraordinarily difficult. In fact, borderline impossible. It would be extraordinarily expensive to do. So here's what we're going to do. We're just not going to sell you any LNG anymore. No more liquid natural gas for you anymore. Thanks, Europe. And then Europe's going to be like, but we need it because we'll freeze in the winter. And we'll be like, fuck you. There you go, Europe. And go ahead and charge our companies and see what happens. Europe's getting fucked right now. EU is a joke. Brussels is a joke. This shit has to come down. Italy is rejecting the claim that they allowed the United States to fly 500 flights. Man, fuck you, Italy. Fuck you guys too, man. And not to the Italians. You guys are great people. But fucking Maloney, you're a fucking trash. You're a piece of trash. You belong in the basura. I don't know how you say that in Italian. It's probably close to that word. Pile of trash. So, yeah. Okay. I say we pull all of our shit out. Fuck Italy, man. We pull every damn dime from you guys. Fuck you, Maloney. This is what's going down right now. Like Trump said, fighting communism. Been waiting his whole life to do this. Communism needs other people's stuff. They don't produce their own. Look at China. China can't produce their own shit. They got to steal ideas from others. It's like Hollywood. Same people are in charge. Hollywood can't make movies anymore. You notice this? They only can remake stuff and ruin it. Yeah, these people are piles of trash. France took another Shadow Fleet tanker from Russia. That's causing more problems with Russia. Okay. And Russia, they stopped a record number of Ukrainian drones overnight. Apparently, Ukraine went hard last night. Yeah, into Friday morning. 660 drones were apparently shot down. So there's that. I don't know if they shot. This is a cool little thing they're using here. I don't know. I don't know if they're using any aircraft to shoot them down. It's probably a reasonably inexpensive way to do that. So, nah. Their range isn't very good. But if you put enough of these things scattered around certain places, I'd say you just probably need to overlap by, a mile maybe? They got pretty good range from that standpoint, though these drones do come in low. But I always wonder about bullets that fire out because they arc back down and hit stuff on the ground. So I don't know. Maybe they got a lot of open country out there in Russia. China's cracking down and threatening Hong Kong, and they're sending money out to foreign governments. I'm wondering how much City of London influence is still in Hong Kong. This very much feels like China, Xi probably, closing down hard on the deep state money within China. This is, again, the attacks are happening against the deep state by all countries. Russia's doing theirs, and they've got a very kinetic thing going on. For the most part, I think they've handled a lot of the internal stuff. Now it's sort of external. Here in the United States, obviously U.S. aid and a lot of the crap that's happening there, and you can tell we've been playing internally a lot of the problems we have. We're still seeing stuff happen, but the fight is on. And China is doing their parts. Europe's getting hosed. They made a lot of really bad decisions, so it's kind of fun to watch them suffer, frankly, especially being an American and spending my entire life hearing from Europeans how superior Europeans are. Fantastic. OpenAI plans delaying IPO until the 2027, blames SpaceX. Kind of funny. There's obviously not enough money, and I don't think they've got enough excitement around their product right now either. So there are a couple things, I think, fighting them. And finally, there's been 4 canceled Artemis systems that NASA had contracted, and those doubled in cost. That's why they killed them, basically. And the sad part is we still lost a bunch of money. We lost over $2 billion, but at least it didn't cost us $6 billion. And if we would have kept it going, it only would have risen further. The Artemis stuff heavily involved, I want to say Boeing, because I think they called their whole project Artemis, the one they're doing the moon thing for. That's crap. So, yeah, we're seeing a lot of wasted money. Unfortunately, I think Boeing has got a serious bleeding of money problem. Serious bleeding of money problem. And at some point, I'm sure that's going to get fixed, hopefully, maybe without having to announce it to the entire world. And then they can just start making stuff on time and properly. But we'll see. I know there's a lot of contractors involved. There's a lot of third parties that make many parts to an airplane. Airplanes are not made by Boeing anymore, just like a car is not made by the car company anymore. All the parts of the car are made elsewhere, and then you buy the parts and you assemble it. And that's really what a car is now, is it's assembled someplace. In many cases, like the Camry, believe it or not, Toyota Camry is the most heavily made, American-made car. At least it was last year. I don't know if that's changed as of this year yet, but it is heavily manufactured here. Maybe the Teslas too, but I think a lot of that stuff's manufactured overseas as well. Anyway, whatever the case is. That's a waste of money, and it needs to stop. Got a lot happening. I've got a great show for music tonight. We're going to be doing The Dance by Fleetwood Mac, an amazing concert that they did. I actually got to see that one live. That was so much fun. I am starting it early because it's kind of a long concert, and I want to finish it before it gets super late. But that said, I'll start at 2:30. Not that maybe it'll matter for some of you, but it'll start at 2:30. Those of you that pay attention to, the timer on the shows, you'll figure it out. All that said, it's going to be a lot of fun. We made it to Friday, thank God, and we'll do it all again. We got another exciting week coming up, that's for sure. Closing out June and July 4th coming up. Very exciting times are coming indeed. I love you guys. Certainly, where we go one, we go all. It's on the Fringe with Dan Radio Style.